This seed spawns you surrounding a huge dark oak forest, big enough to actually have two separate woodland mansions, as well as quite a number of pale garden forests around the place. And when you spawn inside the world, you might notice we are not inside of a dark oak forest, but we are instead spawned inside of a birch forest, and that's because the dark oak forest is literally about 50 or so blocks from where you spawn in, and in the case you want to get to these mansions, then it really depends on which way you want to go, because either way is pretty much the exact same distance. But in the case you want to find like the bigger pale oak forest, then you're gonna want to head off in this direction for quite a decent distance of time, but not too incredibly long to make the journey too like unworth it. But after you head off this direction for quite a decent distance of time, you're not only going to run across smaller pale oak forests around the place, but you're also going to run across some pretty big ones, if that, including a lot of really big mountains we can see around the place. But in the case we just head off in this direction for just a little bit longer, then we're eventually going to run across this huge pale oak forest, not the biggest one we've ever seen, but still a pretty big one that generates in right next to a woodland mansion, like literally about 20-30 blocks away from a woodland mansion, right next to a bamboo forest. Like, in the case you want to make the benefits of like new stuff as well as old stuff, then this place at these coordinates inside this seed is pretty much going to be the place you're going to want to head to. But in the case you want to make more use of the newer stuff, then head off in this direction for just a little bit, because we're going to find a much bigger clump of pale oak forest we can see just right around here. And yeah, compared to what we just saw, this is quite a lot bigger. Again, we've seen bigger, but this is still pretty decently big. But in the case you want to find like the second woodland mansion, then you're going to want to head off in this direction for a little bit, kind of past where we just spawned in. But in the case we head off in this direction for about a few hundred blocks, yeah, it's about 800-ish blocks from spawn, but from where we were, it was about 1200 or something like that. Then what we're eventually going to see is on the complete opposite end of this dark oak forest is another woodland mansion inside the same dark oak forest, inside the same seed, both about, again, 1200-ish blocks away from each other. So this seed has pretty much everything you're going to need to not only handle the dark oak forest, not only handle the woodland mansions, but also handle the pale oak forest. But yeah, with that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.